Chapter 1. The lag spike. Physics is the study of consequences. If you drop a cup, it falls. If you split an atom, energy releases. There is always a cause, and there is always an effect, bound together by the rigid, unyielding spine of time. Dr. Lena Mirek believed in that spine. She had spent 32 years clinging to it, climbing it, and eventually building a career on top of it. But on a Tuesday in November, 100 meters beneath the French-Swiss border, the spine snapped. "Luminosity is holding at 98%, said David, his voice cracking slightly over the comms. He was a postdoc from Cambridge, brilliant with numbers but terrible with pressure. Cryogenics are stable. Magnet temperatures are nominal at 1.9 Kelvin. Lena didn't look up from her primary monitor. The control room of the Super-LHC, the world's newest, most expensive particle accelerator, was a cathedral of silence and blue light. 40 workstations curved in a semicircle, manned by the best physicists the European Organization for Nuclear Research had to offer. "Don't watch the magnets, David," Lena said softly, tapping a command into her console. "Watch the beam dump. If we lose containment at 14 tera-electronvolts, we won't have time to worry about the magnets. Right? Sorry, Dr. Mirek." Lena took a sip of espresso. It was cold and tasted like battery acid, but it was the only thing keeping her retinas open. They had been running collision protocols for 18 hours straight. The board wanted results. They wanted to find the graviton, the theoretical particle that carried the force of gravity, the last missing piece of the standard model. "Initiating run 40 for B," Lena announced, her voice calm, projecting to the room. "Injecting lead ions in 3, 2, 1. A low thrum vibrated through the floorboards, the sound of raw power surging through 27 kilometers of superconducting magnets. Deep below them, 2 beams of heavy ions were accelerating in opposite directions, rapidly approaching the speed of light. "Beams are aligned," David said. "Crossing angle optimized. Collision in 5 seconds. Lena counted down. She leaned in. This was the moment she lived for. The violence of physics. The instant when nature was forced to reveal its secrets. "Mark." On the massive main screen at the front of the room, the visualization software rendered the event in real time. 2 dense clouds of particles smashed into each other. Usually, this resulted in a firework display of data. A shower of quarks, gluons, and muons spraying outward into the detectors like subatomic confetti. The screens would scroll frantically with decay rates and energy signatures. But that didn't happen. For a fraction of a second, a duration so short the human eye shouldn't have been able to register it, the screen froze. It wasn't just the visualization. The scrolling logs of data on Lena's personal terminal stopped. The hum of the ventilation system seemed to hang in a suspended note. It felt as if the entire room, the entire world, had taken a sharp intake of breath and held it. And then, just as suddenly, it snapped back. The data cascaded down the screen in a blur. The detectors lit up. The room exhaled. "Collision successful," David cheered, pumping a fist. "Look at that debris field. We've got massive transverse energy spikes." Around the room, scientists began clapping. A few typed furiously, eager to capture the scatter plots. Lena didn't clap. She sat perfectly still, her finger hovering over the enter key. "Dr. Mirek?" David spun his chair around, grinning. "Did you see the calorimeters? We might have a 5 sigma event here." "David," Lena said, her voice tight, "pull up the raw timestamp log for the Atlas detector." David's smile faltered. The log? Why? The collision data is... Just do it. David sighed, turning back to his station. He typed in the command. Okay, timestamps are up. What are we looking for? Lena rolled her chair over to his station, ignoring the celebratory chatter behind them. She pointed at the screen. There, she whispered. The log was a waterfall of numbers, recording the event down to the attosecond decay detected. See that? Lena traced the lines with a trembling finger. 3 entries. The timestamp didn't advance. David squinted. That's weird. Probably a buffer overflow in the sensor array. The collision was too bright. The camera blinked. The sensors are hardwired to an atomic clock, David. They don't blink. Even if the sensors failed, the clock keeps ticking. Time always moves forward. Okay, so the clock glitched. It happens. It happened across all 4 detectors, Lena said, pulling up the feeds from Alice, CMS, and LHCb on her own screens. She overlaid them. They matched perfectly. For exactly $0.0004 nanoseconds, the collision had occurred, but time had not advanced. The particles had occupied the same space with the same energy without moving. That's impossible, Lena muttered. If time stopped, the energy density should have become infinite. We should have created a black hole. Lena, you're overthinking it, David said, lowering his voice so the director wouldn't hear. It's a lag spike in the data transmission. The fiber optics probably heated up. It's a hardware bug. Lena stared at the screen. She knew hardware bugs. She knew what electronic noise looked like. It was chaotic, messy, jagged. This wasn't messy. It was clean. It was a flat line in the heartbeat of the universe. She stood up, her legs feeling heavy. I want the raw dump, she said. Copy everything to my local drive. Do not filter out the noise. The director isn't going to like you hoarding. I don't care what the director likes, Lena snapped, louder than she intended. A few heads turned. She lowered her voice, leaning close to David's ear. Something happened in that collision, David. The laws of physics didn't just break. They paused. It's like... She struggled to find the scientific term, but the only word that came to mind was something her nephew would say when his video game console overheated. It's like the system couldn't render the frame fast enough. David stared at her, a look of genuine concern crossing his face. Go get some sleep, Lena. You've been up too long. Lena grabbed her coat. She didn't argue. She grabbed the hard drive containing the collision data and shoved it into her pocket. You might be right, she said, though her heart was hammering against her ribs like a trapped bird. I'm going home. She walked out of the control room, past the security scanners, and into the cool Swiss night. But as she looked up at the stars, for the first time in her life, she didn't see burning balls of gas billions of light years away. She saw a skybox, and she had the terrible, sinking feeling that she had just peeked behind the curtain.